What if your IQ score is built on a misunderstanding? For decades, people were told something simple. You're either born smart or you're not. That number gets stamped on report cards, job applications, even how people see themselves. Science tells a different story now. A sharper mind isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. And the research behind that claim is more specific than you'd expect. Studies spanning more than a century, all pointing the same direction. In 1905, a French psychologist named Alfred Binet created the first IQ test. His goal was specific. He wanted to find children who needed extra help in school. He never wanted the test to rank everyone. He said this clearly, more than once. But the test crossed the Atlantic. American educators turned it into something else. By the 1930s, intelligence testing was used in most public schools. IQ became a permanent label, not a temporary tool. This is where the real problem started. In 1985, psychologist Robert Sternberg proposed a different way to think about intelligence. He called it the triarchic theory. Sternberg argued that intelligence has three parts: analytical thinking, creative thinking, and practical thinking. Standard IQ tests mostly measure the first one. They barely touch the other two. Think about it this way. Analytical thinking solves a puzzle that's already in front of you. Creative thinking imagines a puzzle that doesn't exist yet. Practical thinking gets things done in a messy, real situation, on a deadline, with people involved. A high score on one of those can come with almost nothing on the other two. That's not a flaw in the test, it's a limit nobody bothered to mention. A bad night's sleep can throw off your score. Test anxiety can throw it off too. A single number became who you are. That's not what Binet intended. It's not what the fuller research says either.
So let's clear something up. Genetics do play a role in intelligence. Twin studies estimate IQ heritability between 50 and 80%, but that's only part of the picture. Your brain can physically change. This is called neuroplasticity. In 2000, neuroscientist Eleanor Maguire studied London taxi drivers. To get licensed in London, drivers have to pass a test called the Knowledge. They memorize roughly 25,000 streets in the city without GPS. It can take years just to pass. Maguire used brain scans to look at their hippocampus. That's the brain region tied to spatial memory. Drivers with more years of experience had more gray matter there. Their brains had physically changed from the work they did. Here's the part that makes the study convincing. In 2006, Maguire ran the comparison again, this time against London bus drivers. Bus drivers navigate too, but along fixed routes. They didn't show the same hippocampal growth. That ruled out a simple explanation. It wasn't just that certain people choose to drive for a living. The actual navigating, the daily demand on memory, is what changed the brain. Your brain is not fixed tissue. It adapts to what you specifically ask of it, again and again. Here's a second myth worth breaking. Learning isn't passive. In 2006, researchers Henry Roediger and Jeffrey Karpicke ran a study. Students read a passage, then were tested on it later. One group reread the passage several times. Another group tested themselves on it instead, without looking back. Right after studying, the rereader group felt confident. They could recall 83% of what they'd read. The self-testing group only managed 71%. The rereaders looked like the clear winners. 1 week later, everything flipped. The rereaders could only recall 40%. The group that had tested themselves recalled 61%. Struggling to retrieve information is what actually builds memory. Psychologist Robert Bjork has a name for this effect. He calls it a desirable difficulty. Difficulty isn't the enemy of learning, it's often the mechanism. You'll see this same idea show up again in a minute.
Tesla and Einstein weren't just born brilliant. They also built strange, specific habits, and most of those habits go against what feels productive. That's the pattern worth paying attention to. The things that actually train your brain rarely feel like work. Here's the first one. Some of your best thinking happens when you stop trying to think. In 2014, Stanford researchers tested this directly. Marilee Opezzo and Daniel Schwartz ran 4 separate experiments. In one of them, every outdoor walker came up with at least one strong, original idea. Only half of the people sitting down managed that. In the other 3 experiments, most walkers still beat most sitters. One indoor test showed roughly a 60% jump in creative output just from walking. Now here's the strange part. It didn't matter if they walked facing a blank wall indoors or outside in fresh air. The scenery wasn't the point. The act of walking itself was. Researchers think it loosens the filters your brain puts on ideas, the same filters that make sitting at a desk feel stuck. So the next time you're blocked, the worst move might be staying in your chair. The second habit sounds almost too simple to matter. Write your thoughts down by hand. Most people think they already know what they think. They don't, and there's a reason. A thought in your head feels finished before it actually is. Writing it down exposes the gaps. The sentence that felt clear in your mind suddenly won't hold together on paper. That discomfort isn't failure. It's the moment the thought actually gets built. And there's a harder version of this worth trying. Before you look up an answer, sit with the question first. Let yourself struggle for a minute. That's the same desirable difficulty from earlier. It feels like wasting time. It's the opposite. The third habit is the one people skip the most. Steal ideas from fields that aren't yours. Here's why it works. Your brain solves new problems by reaching for patterns it already has. If all your patterns come from one field, you get stuck the same way every time. Borrow a concept from biology or economics or history, and you get a new lens. Suddenly a problem that looked solid has a crack in it you couldn't see before. And underneath all 3 habits sits one engine: retrieving what you know instead of just reviewing it. That's the single move the research keeps pointing back to. A fixed IQ score held people back for a long time. It let one number decide what people thought they could become. But IQ isn't a static score, it's a system you can improve. Psychologist Carol Dweck has a name for this belief. She calls it a growth mindset. People with this mindset believe ability can be built through effort. Worth saying clearly, not every later study has replicated her original findings. Some have, some haven't. That's normal in psychology research, but the core idea holds up across the studies in this video. Your brain physically changes with the right kind of effort. That part is in dispute. Put it all together and a pattern shows up. A French psychologist who warned against turning his test into a label. A neuroscientist who found a brain that grew from daily demand. 2 researchers who proved that struggle beats comfort for memory. A psychologist who replaced a fixed belief with one people could actually use. None of that fits inside one fixed number. Intelligence isn't about what you are, it's about what you do. The only thing that was ever average was one belief, the belief that you had to be. What's one habit you'll try this week? Tell us below.